Hi guys, we're just waiting for everybody to rejoin. Okay guys, just a couple of minutes. Just a couple of minutes and we'll get started. Okay. So we're going to start with the finishing the story, and then we'll move on to a practice workbook page that we started yesterday. I want us to finish it because you had to complete it for homework yesterday. Remember, I told you when we didn't have time in class because everybody was not prepared to answer and we wasted a lot of time. I want everybody to be prepared today. Make sure you have your things next to you. It's very important to be prepared for class and have your material so we don't waste time waiting for people to flip through pages and look for stuff in the book. We have to be ready, okay? All right, one more minute and we'll take attendance so that anybody who is coming in a couple of minutes late has time to join. Yes, Leanne, what's your question?
Miss Amanda, in the Your Turn practice book, what page do we open when we finish the story?
I'm not going to tell you now. I didn't ask for your turn practice. I asked for language arts practice. Okay, so we're not going to use your turn today. I asked for
Okay, thank you.
language arts practice, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, honey. All right, just waiting for 8:40 so that I can take attendance and we will start. Okay, here we go. Abdurrahman.
Here.
Okay, guys.
Miss, you are muted. Miss, you're muted.
Okay, guys, sorry. Abdurrahman.
Here.
Thank you. Adito.
Here.
Thank you. Basil.
Here.
Thank you. Iad Adil. Iad Adil. Okay. Iad Tamer.
I'm here.
Thank you. Hamza?
Here.
Les?
Here.
Muhammad?
Here.
Thank you. Mustafa? Mustafa? Omar? Omar? Okay. Tahir?
Yes.
Thank you. Wahba?
Here.
Thank you. Yassine? Yassine?
What, Miss Amanda?
You have to say here. We're calling attendance. You have to open your mic and say here.
Okay.
Okay, Isol?
Miss, I'm
Isol?
after Yasin.
Honey, mute your mic. After you answer, mute your mic. Isol? Sarah?
Here.
Thank you. Yassine, mute your mic.
Okay.
Farida? 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 Okay, Jada?
Here.
Thank you. Jenna?
Here.
Thank you. Jumana?
Here.
Leanne?
Here.
Leela? Leela? Leela, are you here? Okay. Hey, Malik?
I'm here.
Thank you. And Pilar? Pilar?
Here.
Thank you. Reem?
Here.
Thank you. Ragmini?
Yes, Miss Amanda.
Thank you. Tia?
You're welcome. Here.
Thank you. All right. I think I missed one name. Yusuf. Yusuf?
Here.
Thank you, Yusuf. Okay. All right, guys, let's go back to the story. Let's talk about what we read quickly and we'll continue. So, scientists are creating superfoods, okay? And how are they creating these superfoods? Who can tell me? What are they doing to create superfoods? No one? Ragmini, tell us.
By modifying the genes.
That's exactly right. They're modifying genes. They're crossbreeding, which means that they take a sweet plant and a big plant and they put them together to try to create a bigger and a sweeter plant, okay? So they are modifying them by trying to change the code in the seeds, okay? All right, let's continue. We are reading here where it says safety issues. Rigmini, why don't you read for us?
Okay. Many people have disagreed with the idea that GM foods are a good idea. They worry GM foods will hurt the environment and humans. One concern is that plants with new genes will crossbreed with weeds to make pesticide-resistant weeds. Another concern is that GM foods may trigger allergies. Samantha?
Sorry, I don't know why my mic keeps muting. Sorry. Okay, so some people believe that genetically modified foods are okay and they're no problem. Other people think that this is a good way to get the best type of crops. Other people think that this is not healthy, that the the chemicals that they use to modify can cause allergies in people, that this is not natural, and this is not something that we should be doing. Now, they are afraid that by chance somebody might accidentally crossbreed one of the seeds with a weed. And if they do, then it's going to give this weed like superpowers and they won't be able to kill it. Okay, let's continue. Mohammed, why don't you finish for us?
Hello?
Yes, Mohammed, can you finish for us?
Miss, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Okay, that's good now.
Okay, go ahead and read,
Time.
please.
What?
I want you to read.
Okay. Time will tell.
We are here.
Wait. Okay,
Guys, you
sorry.
got to pay attention.
Genetically modified crops are prevalent in the US, but some people will not buy them of health concerns. As a result, many companies avoid GM foods, although there is no physical evidence that are unhealthy. Hello?
Continue, Mohammed. I asked you to finish.
Time will tell. Genetically modified foods have not hurt anyone. Most genetic researchers think that if troubles do crop up, they, they will manageable. It is important to keep researching GM foods because these types of foods can better fight the world's chronic hunger problems.
Okay. One second.
You're welcome.
All right, honey, thank you. Okay, so it says that genetically modified crops are prevalent in the US. That means that most places use genetically modified crops. And it also says that there are many people who will not buy them because they have concerns. They are worried that it is not healthy for them, although there is no proof that it is not. Okay, let's take a look at our literary terms, and we'll go back to the story and point out the terms and where they are located in our story. All right, first one is reread. Reread. Leela, you don't have a working mic, dear. Please check your mic. Okay, and change the name on your account to your name. I see, I just saw you at the bottom with mom's name, and when I took attendance, I couldn't hear you because your mic is not working. Please connect your mic. Okay, Tahir, tell us, what does it mean to reread?
To read again.
That's right, it means to read something again, and we go back and read to help us understand when we do not understand something. Okay, thank you. Next word, author's point of view. All right, Moaz, tell us, what is the author's point of view? Hello, Moaz.
Hello,
Can you tell us what the author's point of view is?
how the authors think.
That's it. It's how the author thinks. And it's the position, which means, for instance, if we are trying to convince someone of something, it's the position that we take. Do we agree with the way, for instance, we'll use the story we just read. Do we agree that it's okay to use genetically modified foods? Or do we think that it's better to be safe and not to use genetically modified foods because we don't know what the long-term effects of it will be? So it's the author's position. What does the author think about the topic that he is talking about? Okay, it's his point of view, what he thinks or feels about the topic he is discussing. Thank you, Moaz. Okay, next page. Persuasive article. Our genre this week, persuasive article. All right, let's see. Trying to see somebody's voice. I have not heard a lot. Iad, why don't you tell us what a persuasive article is? Hello, Iad.
Hello, Miss Amanda.
Can you tell us what a persuasive article is?
A persuasive article, it
It's right on the screen, honey.
opinion on a topic and has facts and examples, and it must agree with the author's opinion and includes text features such as charts and maps.
Okay, so a persuasive article, remember the word persuasive? Persuasive comes from the word persuade. Persuade means that you try to make the reader have the same opinion that you have. You try to convince the reader to believe what you believe. Okay, so it's nonfiction. That means it's true. It uses facts and opinions to try to make the reader agree with you. You can use text features like charts to present information. You can also use maps when needed. Okay, all right. So again, a persuasive article is an article written to make you think the way the author thinks, okay? Whether they agree with something or they disagree, they want you to have the same opinion. All right, I see lots of hands up. If you do not have a question and you were raising your hand to read, please put your hand down. Okay, thank you. Mohammed, what's your question?
I was wanting to answer persuasive article.
Okay, put your hand down, please. Okay. Guys, remember to mute your mics after I'm leaving your mic open. I'm trusting you to mute your mics when you finish. Okay? All right. You're doing great. Wonderful job. Let's continue. Let's take a look at the text features for the week. We have here maps. Okay, let's go back and look at our story together. In our story, there is a map here at the top, and the map shows us how there is chronic hunger. Remember, Muhammad read this line at the bottom, how the world could better fight chronic hunger, which means that so many people are starving all over the world. It shows a picture of Africa, and it has a map key telling us the percentage of people who are not getting enough food. So this is a map, and it is used to show us the people who are hungry and where they are located. Okay, this information can be used to help make your writer think that many people are hungry, so we should allow the use of genetic food. Okay, so this is there to help persuade the reader. All right, what is this that we have at the bottom here on this page? Who can tell me what this is? Right here on the bottom, where it says superfoods at the bottom, rice, salmon, and tomatoes. Who can tell me what this is? Hamza?
A chart.
It is a chart, right? And the chart is used to give us information about the three types of food. Okay?
Yes.
Right. So uh, also there's another word to describe what this is. This specifically is a chart. But anytime we have extra information added, what do we call it? Wahba?
A sidebar.
Excellent. So the sidebar in our story this week is a chart, okay? Very good job, both of you guys, Hamza and Wahba. Thank you. All right, let's move on. I do believe that that is the last of our literary terms. I'll make a list of this for you to copy into your notebook. Remember, a map is a flat drawing of a real place, okay? And in this case, it's used to show information about not the location, but about where people are that are still hungry in this world and do not get enough food. Okay. All right, let's move on now. I'm going to back out for just a second. Yesterday, we were doing page 67A in your language arts practice book. Okay. And we had started reading and we did not have time to finish. I am hoping everyone is prepared today, and we will quickly go through this page together, okay? All right, let's read the paragraph together quickly, and we will answer. All right, it says, underline the sentence that tells what is being explained. Okay, let's read the paragraph together. If you did not read before, you can raise your hand. I'll pick someone to read, but only if you did not read before. All right, Leanne, go ahead.
Okay. Where are the elephants? Here are directions to the elephant area of the zoo. First, enter the zoo at the pool of sea lions. Stop. If you like and watch these wonderful creatures swim and dive. Behind the sea lion pool, turn to the right. Then, when you reach the snake and turtles displays, turn to your left. In front of you will be a very large grassy area. At last, you have found the elephants.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, raise your hand, please, if you can tell me the sentence that tells us what is being explained. Which sentence tells us what is being explained? Reem?
Here are directions to the elephant area of the zoo.
You are correct. This is the sentence. Here are directions to the elephant area of the zoo. That tells us what is being explained in our paragraph. Okay, thank you very much, Reem. All right. Now, the next question says, using the information from the paragraph, list the animals that you would see in the order that you would see them in as you walk to the elephants, okay? What is the first animal that you would see on your way to the elephants? Please raise your hand to answer. All right, Germana, what's the first animal that you would see?
Sea lions.
That's correct, right. Sea lions. It says, first enter at the sea lions. Okay, very good, thank you. Next, what is the next animal that we would see? Hamza?
Snakes.
All right. Next, we would see the snakes. Okay, that's correct. All right. And the last animal that we would see, Ragmini?
Are turtles.
That's right. So first sea lions, then snakes, then turtles. Thank you. Okay. Everybody put your hand down, please. There are a lot of people who sit at the bottom of the class and do not raise your hand. Make sure you are participating. You want a participation grade. Okay. Let's see. Read number 5 for us, please. Read number 5. Let's see. Who down here is quiet? Yassine, read number 5 for us.
Yes, I don't know what's this page.
This is page 67A. I announced it when I first put it up, page 67A. You see it?
Miss, can I get the book first?
Okay, go ahead, get your book.
Okay.
I'm gonna call on somebody else to answer, but you go ahead and get your book because you need to be following along with us. And I told you guys in the last session to bring the book with you. All right, let's see. Basil, read number 5.
List some of the time, order, and special words that make the paragraph clearer.
Okay. So do we see any time order or spatial order words that help to make the paragraph clear for us?
Uh,
Okay, let's ask one of your classmates, Abdurrahman.
First. Yeah.
That's right. We have time order first. Very good. Jumana,
Yes.
you raised your hand to answer, dear.
No, I wanted to answer like B.
Okay, then you should put your hand down once we've
Okay.
passed it.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Pilar,
Miss. Then.
where is then? Then, very good. Time ordered again, also then, first and then. Okay? All right. Tia, another one?
At last.
At last, very good. Also time order, excellent. All right. Let's see. Hamza,
Behind.
Why?
A special order
behind,
word.
very good, excellent. That's right, spatial order, very good. All right.
Why?
I'm sorry, you have to wait for me to call on you. You cannot just say answers across. I'm going to mute again because we have people that are talking across the room. Okay, so if we talk across the room, then we have to mute our mics. All right, let's go. Another word. Let's see. Regnini,
Yes.
another word in our paragraph.
In front.
Excellent, very good. All right, let's take a look at the answers together. I do believe we got them all. We did first, behind, then in front, at last. I don't remember if someone said, I think someone yelled out right, which is correct. And we have in front, okay? And left. First, behind, right, then left, in front, and at last. Okay, first, then, and at last are time order words. Behind, right, left, in front, spatial order words. Okay, all right. Let's move on now. Next, we have, let's see, complete this. All right, so now I'm going to explain to you today. We talked about explanatory writing, and I want someone to remind me again, what is explanatory writing? If you can tell me what explanatory writing is, please raise your hand. If you can tell me what explanatory writing is, please raise your hand. All right, let's see. Same hands every time. Always the same students participating. Only half of our class is going to get participation grades. Okay. Yassine, can you tell us what explanatory writing is?
Explanatory,
Hmm? You raised
like
your hand, right? Tell us what explanatory writing is.
like uh all of work, like I have mm,
Okay, let's get help from a classmate. Jenna, what is explanatory writing?
Explanatory writing is when you share your opinion.
And you have to mute the other mic. That's why you're echoing. You have to mute one of them. Okay, go
Is
ahead,
when you
tell me.
share your opinion.
All right, so explanatory writing is not persuasive. Persuasive is what we're reading in English. Explanatory writing is what, Wahba?
Explanatory writing is something that teaches you to do an activity or write or something or anything. Explains a certain topic.
Okay, so it tells you how to complete a process or how to do something in step-by-step instructions, okay? All right, so an explanatory writing explains. It explains. Explanatory comes from the word explain, okay? Hands down, please. I have lots of hands up. All right, I'm going to talk for a few minutes and I need you to pay attention and listen. There are steps to writing an explanatory writing. I'm going to give you those steps and I want you to listen to the steps. Now, if you have a question about one of the steps, we will wait till I finish and we will ask about the steps at the end, okay? All right, so we begin by pre-writing. The first thing that we have to do is to decide what our purpose and our audience is. Who are we writing for? Who is it that we want to write and explain to? And what is it that we're trying to do? This is our purpose. What's the reason for writing? And our audience, who is going to read what we write? So it's important to think about that. And because, for instance, if I'm writing and I want to write something for students in grade 1, I'm going to write it in a more simplified manner than I would write it if I was writing for adults, okay? So it's always important to think about who is going to read what you write, because you want to write it so that they can understand it, okay? All right, and your purpose, what is it that you're going to try to explain? What is the reason you are writing? You want to explain what? So the first thing you have to do is know what you're going to write about and who is going to read it. Once you start to decide what you're going to write about and who's going to read it, you have to pick a topic. What are you going to write about? You need to brainstorm. Who can tell me what brainstorming means? You have to brainstorm ideas. And from the brainstorming list of ideas, you can choose your topic. Tahir, what does brainstorming mean?
to think of ideas in a group.
That's exactly right. But in this case, if you were working in a group, you could brainstorm with a group. If you are working alone, you can brainstorm alone and come up with your own list of ideas, okay? So to brainstorm is to think of ideas. All right. Next. The most important thing about your writing when you are writing explanatory writing is that you tell the steps in the correct order. It's important that the order you put the steps in must be logical. Like, for instance, if I'm going to make something and the end result is wet, I don't make my last step add water. I have to add water before. Okay, it has to be in an order that makes sense. All right, we use what we call a flow chart, which is just the chart with little arrows that shows what happens from the first part down to the last part in order to organize our steps, okay? First thing we do, we put everything in sequence. All right, once we do that, we have to start writing. What is it that I need to know? And where can I get the information? What do I know about my topic? I should write down. I should figure out if I need to look up information that I do not know, okay? This is how we research. Like say, for instance, I decide I want to write about how to build an airplane. I'm going to need to research that because I don't know how to build an airplane. So I'm going to go and find information about how to build an airplane, okay? You can also find and use diagrams. Sometimes when you write an information, you can write it in a diagram, label parts to help you understand, to help your reader understand. We can use maps to help our reader understand. We can use charts to help our reader understand. We can use anything that we find in our research that helps our reader understand what we are telling them about. For instance, if I'm going to explain to someone how to build the airplane, maybe a diagram of the airplane would be helpful because when I tell them what parts they need to use, they have a picture that shows them what the parts look like, okay? So use information that you find from researching, all right? You should consider that whatever you put in your flow chart, each one of the lines that you choose to list, each step, maybe you're going to write one sentence for each one to explain it. Okay, and this is how we develop the paragraphs. When we take each step and we write a sentence, we make paragraphs based on the things that should go together. For instance, if the first 4 steps of my paragraph, who is messaging me in the chat? It's blinking all over my screen. Okay. Abdurrahman, I'm moving very quickly. You don't need to follow in your book. Just listen on the screen for now. I'm moving very quickly through the pages. By the time you find pages, I'll have moved on. Okay. Your flow chart, each of the steps we should use as a sentence. Now, once you figure out what needs to go together, say, for instance, I'm explaining to you, one, I'm giving you directions to go somewhere, okay? And the first part of the directions you have to drive in the car. So I would put those directions together in the first paragraph. The second part of directions are by foot. Once you get there, I tell you where to go on foot. So I would group those sentences together in another paragraph. So you decide which sentences are related to each other, and this is how you break them into paragraphs, okay? Now, this particular writing is written in letter form. So this particular writing is giving directions to a place, and they write it in a letter. Okay, so she writes a letter to her friend explaining where she wants to go. We have less than 1 minute. We're probably going to run out of time. If we do, we'll finish this tomorrow. Okay, once you write the letter, you have to revise. Revise means you go back and you look for mistakes. Mistakes can be in the wrong order. Mistakes can be, I'm going to talk right to the end until the meeting ends, and then we'll continue tomorrow. Mistakes can be in grammar. Mistakes can be in spelling. Mistakes can be in the order that you put the sentences. Maybe you made a mistake and you put something out of order. Mistakes can be in punctuation. Maybe you did not write it correctly. You go back and you read your letter again and you look for those mistakes to correct it, okay? And you go back and you write on your draft, the first writing of your letter,